Let's take a look at a very handsome Prospex or professional specifications new release from Seiko. This is the reference SSC 909, otherwise known as the Speedtimer Chronograph Limited Edition. The full retail price will be $700, and this will be limited to 10,000 units, which I find a little bit comical myself because it doesn't sound all that limited. This one in front of the camera is number 8,970 out of the run of 10,000. But I guess it's nice to know the total production run, and it's nice that Seiko has individually numbered each one of these models instead of stamping out something like 1 of 10,000, which would have been the cheap way to go about this release. Now, the design is inspired by the 1969 Seiko Speedtimer, so that design inspiration goes back over 5 decades. And I think it's a very handsome, very attractive little watch. I say little, it's 39.5 millimeters in case diameter, so very pleasantly sized. 45.6 is the lug to lug dimension, so it's nice and trim and should work on a wide range of wrists. 13.4 is the case height, and we have a 20 millimeter lug width and a slight 2 millimeter taper on this bracelet to 18 millimeters at your signed push button release clasp that carries a milled center folding portion. The watch will also have 100 meters of water resistance and a push-pull crown, not a screw-down crown. Now let's talk about this specific color iteration and why this is a little bit different from your non-limited Seiko Speedtimer chronographs. This one will have a pale blue sunray ice dial that looks very sharp, especially in natural light. And how that carries good contrast with your dark semi-transparent sub-registers, your polished applied markers, your polished dark applied Seiko logo just above the PS designation, stating that this is a professional specification watch or professional level watch. We also have a blackout date at the 4:30 position and a brushed handset. This is all visible under a slightly curved sapphire crystal that carries inner anti-reflective coating on that crystal. It's not going to be found on the top of the crystal. And when you angle this watch just right, you will see a little bit of iridescent green sheen, which I find interesting. And I've only found that on Seiko. Normally with ARC, you get a little bit of iridescent blue sheen, but on this, it's a little bit green in tone, which is pretty cool. Now, other things about this particular watch, we have a black tachymeter bezel that is faceted. So notice how your numbers are engraved on the more conical portion, and then there's that facet, there's that angle, and then you get the index track on more of a flat surface. So I think that looks nice. It brings a little bit of light play to what is already a very sharp, very attractive watch on wrist in natural light, and I like this movement. We have the VK192 MECHAQUARTZ caliber within the case. This is a solar-powered movement that carries 6 months of autonomy on a full charge, and I like the fact that we have a power reserve indicator down by your elapsed minute sub-register, which will be the smallest and the furthest south register on the dial. So you'll see a needle hand. While the chronograph is engaged, that needle hand will be keeping track of the elapsed minutes. But once you stop the chronograph and reset the chronograph, that minute hand will wait there, that needle hand will wait there, and 60 seconds will go by, and after that 1 minute has elapsed, that needle hand will automatically go to the proper reading for your power reserve. So that's a really nice little feature. Now, the movement does not tick like a standard quartz movement, and that's one of the nice things about a MECHAQUARTZ or a mechanical quartz hybrid caliber. This one moves 5 times every second, so you could stop the chronograph and get a precise 1/5 of a second reading, which you can actually read because there is the proper index work in the outer index track. Very hard to read, but you can read it. And I don't think I would ever really need to time something to the 1/5 of a second, but the fact that I can do it is just fun as a watch enthusiast. Now, the other sub-register, opposite of your subsidiary seconds, looks like an hour counter, but it's not. This will be a 24-hour indicator, which is a little bit repetitive. I would prefer an hour counter. It's a little bit more traditional, but I'm not going to complain about this. On the whole, I like this MECHAQUARTZ movement. This is nice. The actuation is very smooth. It's very quiet. There's good engagement. There's a very smooth reset to your chronograph seconds hand. So I like all of that. The fact that I can get this, I can get the design language, I can get the color play, the detail work, the bracelet, all for about $700 full retail. I think this represents some classic Seiko value. But let's talk about a few of the things that I don't love so much. I don't like your coated center links that carry kind of a dark gray appearance here. I get that Seiko is trying to tie in with your tachymeter bezel and with your semi-transparent registers on the dial with the black badge and the black date wheel, but it doesn't look great to me. I think this would look better if we had just a standard brushed center link that didn't have what Seiko calls a hard coating. Now, honestly, guys, I don't know if this is comparable to a DLC coating or more like a PVD, so I will not be able to tell you how this will hold up over time to minor hairline wear and dings and dents and whatnot that come naturally as you wear and use your sport watches, your professional watches, of which this definitely falls into that category. Now, another thing that I don't like so much is the fact that we have the 24-hour indicator. I mentioned I would prefer an elapsed hour indicator there, but I recognize that's personal preference. That is not holding back the watch in general. Now, one change I think would be very welcome would be a ceramic bezel. This one is not ceramic, and I think ceramic is kind of becoming standard, especially at that $500 to $1,000 price segment. So that would be a welcome update or change should Seiko decide that they want to upgrade this a little bit. But on the whole, very attractive, very pleasantly sized, nice detail work, nice color play, nice MECHAQUARTZ caliber within the case, and I personally like this watch. Now, I'd like to shout out Strapseeker, who lent this in for review. They're a place that has regional specific Seiko limited edition watches. They also sell straps and other watches, so I will link their authorized dealer site in the description of the video. You're welcome to check them out. I will be featuring other regionally limited edition Seiko watches over the coming months, so stay tuned for that fun content. Thank you for watching today, guys. Have a great day. I'll see you next time.